Hi everyone, hope you're doing good. Welcome to my top 15 albums of 2021. Now, there was a lot of albums that come out this year. It was pretty hard to make this list, but in the end, I done this list based on albums that I've listened to this year and some recommendations I got from people in the VC as well. Massively appreciated to everyone who recommended me albums and recommended everyone albums, but also no thanks at the same time because I had about 40 albums on my list to narrow down and it was a bit hard, but we got there in the end. Yeah, I wanted to make this list a bit less of a bodge job than my list last year, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it all done in time, but fortunately I have. And yeah, in this list I've got a mixture of styles, ranking from 15th to my number one of the year. Um, but before we get into the actual ranking video, I just want to say a massive thank you for everyone's support over this whole year. I feel like I've progressed a lot in my YouTube videos and going up in the YouTube ranks a little bit. I'm so grateful to everyone in the VC for accepting me into your community, and yeah, let's just push on again for next year. And also, if you're new, please consider subscribing for more guitar and rock and metal content. All feedback's much appreciated, and a massive thanks to everyone who's already subscribed and for watching and commenting. And now let's just get straight into my ranking video. Okay, so at number 15, I've got Inhuman Condition with Rap God. Now, this is their debut album, and I got this from a recommendation by Brendan Von Doom. This band is made up of ex-members of Massacre, the death metal band, and this album isn't quite exactly death metal, it's sort of more death thrash. There's a lot of sort of groovy, thrashy moments in here. Lots of cool tempo changes. The vocals are really cool, sort of guttural death metal. Some really great riffs and some really cool guitar solos, sort of death metal style solos. Drumming's really good. It's a pretty solid album if you like your death thrashy stuff. My favourite tracks are Planetary Paroxysm, Killing Peace. No, not Killing Peace, Killing Pace. It's a pretty cool thrashy song. The Next Step, Gravebound, Tyrantula, and the title track is pretty cool as well. Number 14, I've got Celestial Sanctuary with Soul Diminished, another debut album. This time I got this recommended by Liam, Death Doom Metalhead. And yeah, this is a really cool, heavy, groovy, mid-paced style death metal. And I believe they're British as well. Lots and lots of pinch harmonics, which I think is really, really cool. I like pinch harmonics. Unique vocal style. I thought there was some sort of like echoey reverb on his voice that made it really, really cool. Kind of sounded like a ghoul. Some real heavy stuff on this album, which I really, really enjoyed. To be honest, the last song I wasn't a massive fan of, but it might have been better if it had been used as an intro maybe instead of the outro of the album. But still some really good songs on here, like Rid the Gormless, Relentless Savagery, Mass Extinction, Yearn for the Rot, Suffer Your Sentence as well. All really, really good stuff. At number 13, I've got Cryptosis with Bionic Swarm. This is their, well, technically first album as Cryptosis. I think they had a name change. Quite a lot of people recommended this band and this album. I really, really enjoyed it. It's got some really cool progressive thrash going on. Really nice mix of like technical progressive melodies with some really fast-paced thrashing riffs. There's a little bit of black metal in there. I found a little bit in the vocals and in the music a little bit as well. Very black metal a little bit at times. Some absolutely fantastic solos from the guitar player and the vocalist. Some really, really cool, interesting progressions, and they used quite quite a lot of different sort of instrumentation to add some atmosphere and depth to the songs, which I really thought added so much to them. Favourite tracks on here: Death Technology, Decipher, Transcendence, Game of Souls, Prospect of Immorality, and Flux Divergence. Number 12, I've got Smith Kotzon's self-titled album. Again, it's their first album collaboration between Adrian Smith of Iron Maiden and other stuff, and Richie Kotzen of Poison, Mr. Big, and his own solo stuff. I thought this was really cool because they played pretty much everything on the album. I think Richie plays most of the drums, and they both sing and play guitar, obviously. And they also produced it as well. And I thought it was really cool, sort of heavy, bluesy, hard rock, which is, I like that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. I liked both of their vocals. I thought both of them were brilliant. I thought, I know some people wasn't a fan of Richie's vocals, but I thought they were both brilliant. Some really cool sort of dual guitar solos going on in the middle of the tracks where they just go off and have a bit of a guitar battle. I thought that was really cool. Just a really cool, chill, enjoyable album, which, when I was listening to it, I was just sort of sitting back, relaxing, thinking this would be a cool album to put on, when you're just a bit tired and you just want to put some smooth music on, just stick this on. And some of my favourite tracks: Taking My Chances, Scars, Some People, Glory Road, Solar Fire, and You Don't Know Me. At number 11, I've got Asphyx with their album Necroceros. And this is their 10th album. Another recommendation from Liam. This is some really solid death metal. There's quite a lot of things going on in this album. It's not like your typical death metal. It's sort of all sorts of styles and tempos going on. Some really, really cool riffing going on in this throughout the album. Really great tone. I love the guitar tone. Drumming is really, really great as well on here. The vocals from Martin Van Drunen I thought was brilliant. It's a really, really cool album. I really enjoyed the fast-paced bits. They were probably my favourite bits of the whole album, where they just let loose and go absolutely mad. Really like that. My favourite songs: The Nameless Elite, The Soul Cure is Death, Mount Skull, Botox Implosion, 3 Years of Famine, and Yield or Die. Really, really good album. Number 10, I've got Exodus with Persona Non Grata. This is their 11th album. Really, really cool, heavy thrash, a bit groovy at times. They sort of mix a range of fast and slower paced songs. The slower paced songs have got some heavy, real heavy stuff going on. Sousa's vocals was a little bit different on this album. He sort of started to put a bit more sort of growly stuff in there, which I thought was quite interesting. Tom Hunting's drumming was absolutely unbelievable as usual, but it was a bit different this time because he's had cancer and he absolutely beat the crap out of that, and then he absolutely beat the crap out of his drum kit on this album, which is absolutely brilliant. Massive respect to Tom Hunting for overcoming that. I don't think it's as good as Blood In, Blood Out, however. I think Blood In, Blood Out is a little bit better than this. Prescribing Horror, I didn't like that song, to be honest. I thought it was a bit strange. But some of my favourite tracks on here: Clickbait, The Beatings Will Continue, Slipping Into Madness, The Years of Death and Dying, I thought was really cool, Lunatic, Liar Lord, The Fires of Division, and the title track Persona Non Grata is absolutely brilliant as well. At number 9, I've got Paul Gilbert with his solo album Werewolves of Portland. This is his 16th studio album, and I actually reviewed this on the channel, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because I've already done a review. But I thought it was really enjoyable instrumental rock, lots of different influences in each song. I thought it was better than his previous albums. Paul plays all the instruments and also produced it as well, which I think is really awesome. Some really great melodies, great solos. Not really a lot wrong with it. I thought it was a really solid album. My favourite tracks include Hello North Dakota, My Goodness, the title track, Argument About Pie, I Wanna Cry, No I'm Not Sad, Thunderous Ovation, Shock the Columns, and Problem Solving People. Number 8, I've got At the Gates with The Nightmare of Being. This is their 7th album. And this album split opinion with a lot of people. Some people thought it was really great, some people thought it was awful. But yeah, I was on the side that thought it was actually really good. I thought it was great, to be honest. Almost like progressive melodic death metal. They're sort of moving down that path where they're sort of putting a lot more progressive stuff in there with their music. But it definitely keeps that old melodic death metal sound in there. But yeah, I thought the musicianship was brilliant. They put a lot of different instrumentation in there, including the saxophone, which, to be honest, I thought that was pretty cool because it's just so mad, crazy different. I thought it was really cool. And yeah, that's it. They tried something different with this album, and I thought that it worked for me. I thought it worked. I thought the vocals were pretty good, even though some people said that he might even be losing his voice. But I kind of liked his vocal style, almost like barking out the vocals. I like that. Guitaring is really, really great on this album. Some really great songwriting. Will be interesting to see what they do next after this album. But yeah, my favourite tracks on here include Spectre of Extinction, The Paradox title track, Garden of Cyrus with the saxophone, Touched by the White Hands of Death, Cult of Salvation, and The Abstract Dethroned. At number 7, I've got Blood Red Throne with Imperial Congregation. This is their 10th album. Anthony over at Metal Miners recommended me these, and yeah, when I found out that they had a new album out, I thought I'd check that out and thought it was absolutely brilliant. Awesome, groovy, heavy death metal, which is what I like. The vocals were brilliant. They reminded me a bit of Corpse Grinder, but maybe even a bit deeper than Corpse Grinder. But also, he also put in some shrieks in there at times as well. Some really cool, technical, groovy riffs throughout. One of the songs, 6-7, was a bit thrashy as well, which I liked. Some really cool guitar solos throughout. Brilliant drumming, awesome bass playing, especially on Ithaca. Some really, really cool bass playing. Yeah, some of my favourite tracks, the title track Imperial Congregation, Ithaca, Conquered Malevolence, 6-7, Inferior Elegance, and Hero Antics. At number 6, I've got Evil with Hell Unleashed. Now this is their 5th album. Again, I reviewed this on the channel. Probably one of the best thrash metal albums of the year. Probably the best thrash metal albums of the year, because there wasn't that many, to be honest. This is the first one to feature Old Drake on the vocals, and I think he done a great job. Real gritty style vocals, which I liked. Some awesome fast thrash, but also had a little bits of death metal creeping in there with some songs, which I thought was really cool. Some really great solos and brilliant songwriting. Yeah, just unbelievable. The drumming's absolutely insane as well. The only song I wasn't a massive fan of was the cover of Zombie Apocalypse. I didn't think that was really necessary on the album, but whatever, it's there. Favourite tracks include Paralysed, Gore, War of Attrition, Disorder, The Thing 1982, and the title track Hell Unleashed. At number 5, I've got Cannibal Corpse with Violence Unimagined. This is their whopping 15th album. Again, I reviewed this on the channel, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I just thought it was really great, solid death metal. Very, very enjoyable. It's got some thrashy, groovy moments in there. Corpse Grinder's vocals is brilliant as ever. Some really great drumming as well. I love some of the riffs from Eric Rutan as well. Brilliant. I think this is his first album on guitar. Some really cool guitar solos. Pretty solid, consistent, cool album. And yeah, some of my favourite tracks include Murderous Rampage, Necrogenic Resurrection, Inhumane Harvest, Condemnation Contagion, Ritual Annihilation, Follow the Blood, and Servants of the Flayed. Now at number 4, I've got Pestilence with Exitivum. Now, this is their 9th album, and my first time actually listening to this band that I've been meaning to check out. I absolutely love this. Some really awesome, groovy, thrashy, progressive death metal in there. Is some really heavy riffs, which was awesome. Every song I thought was absolutely brilliant. I love the vocals. They felt like a bit different to me. They didn't feel like death metal vocals. It almost sounded like Tim Lembesis from As I Lay Dying mixed with later Phil Anselmo. If that makes any sense, that's what I felt the vocals sounded like. Absolutely unbelievable drumming throughout. Some incredible solos, really cool. I just love the whole like concept of the album where everything sort of molded into the next song. All the songs are pretty short and sweet. I don't think there's a song over 4 minutes, which is pretty cool. Really consistent and fantastic album. And yeah, it was hard to pick a couple of favourite tracks here, but I'll try to. The first, no, it's not the first track. The second track, Morvus Propagationem or something like that. That was a cool song. Devices. Yeah. I'll probably just put some here because it's going to be too difficult. Sempitermvus intermiconium, whatever, we're moving on. The whole album's great. I'll put some tracks there to check out. So moving on to my top 3 now, and yeah, this was pretty difficult to put these in an order, but this was the order I went with. Number 3, I've got Trivium with In the Court of the Dragon. This is their 10th album. I reviewed this on the channel not that long ago. For me, I think this is one of their best albums. More aggressive than their previous albums. Much more aggressive. And a little bit more progressive as well. But they keep that old style in there. The thrash, metalcore, melodic stuff going on. But really consistent. Matt's vocals are just on another level. Corey Beaulieu is just sweeping up the floor, as I said in my review. Alex is drumming like a robot. Unbelievable. Awesome bass tone from Paolo. Fantastic riffs, melodies. Yeah. Still, No Way Back, Just Through, and Dawn to Decadence are not as good lyrically and chorus, but whatever. The rest of the album's absolutely brilliant. Love the title track. Like a Sword Over Damocles, Feast of Fire. Crisis of Revelation, The Shadow of the Abattoir, and The Phalanx, all awesome. At number 2, I've got Bullet for My Valentine with their self-titled album. This is their 7th album. This could be their heaviest they've ever done. Possibly the best album they've ever done as well. It mixes the old metalcore style with a little bit of the new, and also reminded me a lot of like Machine Head as well. Some groove, new metal stuff in there. Absolutely brilliant. With some of these tracks, they've actually managed to do Machine Head better than Machine Head, which is pretty mean feat, really. No real mean feat. Some really cool guitar solos. Brilliant riffing throughout. Really aggressive vocals from Matt Tuck. Awesome. In the middle, it's sort of has a little dip, but not that big. There isn't a bad song on it, really. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliant. Favourite tracks: Parasite, Knives, My Reverie, Paralysed, No Happy Ever After, Shatter, and Death by 1,000 Cuts. Now finally, my number one album of 2021. You might have guessed it if you've seen a review of my channel. It's Carnifex with Graveside Confessions. This album's absolutely fantastic. It could be one of their best albums. Yeah, as soon as I listened to this album, I thought, yeah, this is probably going to be my number one. And yeah, when it come to it, I thought, yeah, this is it. Really cool blackened deathcore with some black metal deathcore stuff going on. Absolutely brutal vocals, brutal riffs, awesome drumming. It's a bit long. It's over an hour long, but still, it's absolutely fantastic. This album. The title track's brilliant. Seven Souls, Cursed, Carry Us Away, Talk to the Dead, Cold Dead Summer, and some of the other songs that they released off their first album they re-recorded. Just a brilliant album. Definitely go check it out because it's awesome. So that was my list for my favourite albums of 2021. I'd love to know what you thought of my list. There were so many that I missed this year. What's your favourite album of 2021? Maybe even do a top 5, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, this is going to be the last video of the year. I hope you enjoyed my content over the whole year. Thanks again for your support. I absolutely massively appreciate it. I hope that next year I'm going to be taking my channel up to the next level. And yeah, see where we can go with it. And I hope you can stick with me for next year. I've got so much planned. Hope you'll be excited to see what I've got planned for next year. And yeah, if you got this far, thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you next year. And until then, keep it metal.